everybody. Just give it a minute. I'm waiting to for it to finish logging in to LinkedIn. I hope everyone is having a good week, or at least starting off with a good week. I'm looking forward to tonight's message. It's something that I think is well overdue and not enough people are talking about. So it's going to be good. Almost there, almost there. Alrighty. I think it's live now. All right. So we're live everywhere. Great. So now, um, I'm Fatima Bey, the Mind Shifter. I'm an international mind shift coach, uh, teacher, writer, speaker. I do a lot of things. And I'm here to shift your thinking for your own success. Now, those of you who haven't met me before, this is what I do. I'm the mind shift coach. I'm the mind shifter, and I help people to shift their thinking for their own success. So right now, I am on a series called Leadership Series, and it is something I'm going to be on for I'm not sure how much longer, but right now I am only talking to leaders. So I'm on a series right now where I'm just talking to leaders, and I'm here to help you shift your thinking. So let's dive in. So today's leadership series is called Watered Down Medicine Heals No One. Watered down medicine heals no one. So if you have, using a different streaming service tonight. So if you have a question, um, if you have a question or comment, please go ahead and make that question or comment, and I will try to make sure that I get to it. All right. So watered down medicine. So this message is for a very specific audience. This message is not for everybody. Most of my messages are quite targeted, but this one is especially for very specific type of leaders. So I do think this applies to most leaders just in different ways. So this is specifically for those leaders who are in any form of communications. I'm going to define that because some of the people I'm talking about are outside of who you think of for communications. I don't mean just communication fields. I mean those who communicate to crowds or multitudes of people and have to convey messages. So this includes speakers, teachers, coaches, writers, uh, um, anyone delivering content or messages. So if you're a leader and you're delivering content or messages, matter of fact, if you are delivering content or messages, you are a leader whether you realize it or not. And you are the ones I'm talking to tonight. So I want to give you, I'm using medicine as an analogy tonight. Our messages are like medicine. So, first of all, let's talk about what does medicine do? Medicine fixes an ailment. It heals our bodies, right? That's generally speaking the purpose of medicine. So, medicine is supposed to heal. It's supposed to fix a problem. Sometimes medicine only fixes a symptom. Sometimes it fixes the problem. Depends on the medicine. But right now I want to talk about the medicine that heals. In this context, that's what makes sense. So, the medicine that heals is good. But let's first talk about what does watered down medicine do? Why is watered down medicine being used in this message and why does it matter? Well, medicine is bad. And here's why it's bad. Watered down medicine is ineffective. It's not potent enough to kill the germs, to kill the virus, to get at whatever you're trying to target. Watered down medicine is vague and generic. It's not potent enough to do anything. Watered down medicine, let me rephrase that. Watered down messages lack power. They miss their target. They're vague and generic. They're safe. They're politically correct. Watered down medicine is wasteful. Why take the medicine if it's not going to fix the problem? Now you're putting stuff into your body that isn't strong enough to fix the problem, but it still contains things that you don't need to put in your body. Why take it then? Why give a watered down message then? And this is why I say watered down messages and watered down medicine ultimately can harm. But here's one of the ways it harms. Watered down medicine can be harmful because now you think you have the solution for the problem, when in reality, I am going to be looking at my phone for comments because this new setup, I have not been able to properly figure out the comments yet. So, um, all right, there we go. All right. So, watered down medicine, like I said, it does more harm than good because now you think you're taking the solution for your problem. And so you stop seeking out other solutions. But what you took isn't going to solve the problem. The watered down message does that. People are looking, especially coaches, people are looking for solutions, but you're so busy trying to be politically correct that you watered down the message and now they don't get it or they barely get it. You watered it down so much that now you watered down the message so much that it's not doing anything. You're being safe but ineffective. It's much better to be effective with 3 people than be ineffective with 300. Numbers are a game, and numbers can fool you. Just because you have an audience of 1,000, it doesn't matter if you water down the message so much that nobody gets the healing they need, nobody gets the solution they need to their emotional, mental, or business problem. Let's talk about what good medicine does. And then I'm going to go back and compare the two. So, good medicine is effective. Good medicine targets a specific problem. So, you take a pain medication that works really well, that's not watered down, that's strong enough, it will target that pain that you're trying to target. Okay, it's a relief. It doesn't solve the problem of the root of the pain, but it targets what you want it to target in that moment. Now, if you have some other kind of ailment, you might take a medication that targets your particular ailment and actually heals it. Real good medicine is potent. Good medicine is not watered down and weak. Good medicine is potent. Now there are degrees of potent because not all of us can take the same level, degree of potency. That's definitely true, but that's not the same thing as watered down. So your message should be targeted and potent to get at the root of the problem, whatever that problem is. Good medicine is specific. Good messages are specific to what you're targeting. Not all inclusive. I need to include everybody, very general. That is a watered down message. You ain't helping a damn nobody. What you were doing is telling us that you don't have much value, that you're just surface. And I'm here to say that a lot of you are not just surface. You really are deeper, but you hide it under political correctness. And what you're doing is you're damaging the people you're talking to because now they think they're taking medicine and they're just getting water. Put a drop of medicine. It don't do nothing because you didn't really target the problem because the problem's uncomfortable. Uncomfortable conversations are the very ones you need to have and you need to target. Otherwise, you can't solve anything. There's not a single solution in the world that comes without, at least most solutions anyway, none of them come without uncomfortable conversations. Even if it's uncomfortable just for a moment, even if it's uncomfortable for someone else and maybe not you, somewhere, somehow, there's an uncomfortable conversation. There's something that we don't want to talk about, we don't want to deal with, and it doesn't feel good. Those are the conversations that start solutions. Those are the conversations that cause solutions. So if you're a speaker and you're giving down water, if you're giving watered down messages, please go sit down until you're ready to serve medicine because you're doing more damage than good. But I gotta be safe. Now, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me finish my list because I'm excited about this message because I feel so strongly about it and I've felt strongly about it for years. And I live this. So good medicine is transformative, it's empowering, and it gets real results. Why does good medicine get real results? Because it targets the problem. It targets whatever you're talking about. It targets the pain points. So if you're a coach, if you're a speaker, if you are any of those things that I mentioned earlier, you even if in your writing, that's another form of communication. You might write a blog, you might write your own magazine, whatever it is. Stop watering down your messages. And I'm saying this because I see people doing it all the time. As a leader, as a person who's got some powerful messages inside them, stop watering them down because you were doing damage to others. You're also doing damage to yourself because now we don't see you as someone deep enough to take seriously. Now we don't see you as someone that we really want to get a solution from. We see you as someone that'll give us some fluff and we can swim in Cool Whip but not solve anything. And that is not how you want people to see you. So you're actually doing damage to your reputation when you do that. Now, the balance part of that is I also want to talk about this. If you are a journalist and you are writing for a magazine or someone else that has editorial control, you can't always say what you want. I do understand that, and I'm not so much talking about that because that those parameters are different. So I just want to clarify. If you're a journalist, you work for television to a certain degree, you are sometimes legally bound not to be able to say certain things, which is why you want to be careful who you get in bed with in the first place. Just something to think about. So, yeah, let me go to that. If you are signing a contract with a studio, with a magazine, with whatever form of media, and you're going to be speaking, you're going to be hosting, you're going to be talking to people, be careful who you get in bed with that. Numbers aren't everything. It is better for you to be on your own and reach 5 people effectively than reach thousands with watered down medicine. And let me tell you why. But look at all these numbers. All these people are listening to me, but you're giving them water and not medicine. So you're forgettable. Your personality might be memorable, but your content is forgettable because you didn't give them the medicine. Those 5 people that you'll reach with your real content, with your real truth, with your real authentic self, those 5 people that you reach will go out and reach 20 people each because they're so excited about the medicine that actually reached them and actually solve the problem and hit a pain point. I just want to say that. Don't be so quick to sign a contract because you're blinded. You're blinded by dollar signs or you're blinded by numbers. Because, well, money's one number, but you're blinded by I can reach thousands of people with water. Wouldn't you rather reach thousands of people with medicine or even hundreds of people more effectively? And no, it's not lost on me that it's not always easy um, to do this. It's not always easy to be honest. It's not always easy to make ripples because when you speak truth, I don't care what that truth is, I don't care what topic we're talking about, 100% of the time it's going to ruffle feathers. 100% of the time. I don't care what that truth is, even if it's small. Now, you can be mindful how you produce that truth. You can be mindful how you say it. Absolutely. You don't need to be rude and obnoxious. However, you still need to speak truth. Watered down medicine helps no one. It solves nothing. So next time you are giving your speech, next time you are writing your column, the next time you're writing your blog, give people the medicine that they need because I truly believe that most of you do actually have some depth and real content inside you, but you're so busy trying to satisfy the people you're not talking to. So let's talk about that. I want to give you this perspective. I want to give you this perspective. When you are giving your messages, whether it's through speech or whether it's written or whether it's audio, when you're giving your message, who are you talking to? I did that message last week or the week before. I don't remember when, but I asked, who are you talking to? I asked that because that leads into this. Once you know who you're talking to, who's your target audience, is another way to put it. Who's your target avatar in the business world? But who are you talking to? Those are the people whose opinions matter. Stop giving watered down messages because you're so worried about offending. I'm not saying that you need to run around and offend people and you don't need to be conscious of how you say things, but what I'm saying is you need to be balanced. How this is how you water down a message. Oh, but I got to make sure I don't offend this group. I got to make sure this group feels included. Is that group who you're talking to? So why do they need to be included? I'm serious. You don't need to be all inclusive in all your messages. Matter of fact, you're better off if you don't. Target who you're talking to. It doesn't mean that you're going to be like, well, you guys suck, stay out my message. It doesn't mean that you take on that attitude. What it means is focus your content on who you are actually trying to reach. Everybody else can sit on the sidelines and watch. When you start turning around your messages, your whether it's verbally or written, whatever form, when you start centering your messages around the people who you're not talking to, that's when you know you're watering down your message. So if you ever wonder, well, do I water down my message? How much focus do you put on the people you're not talking to? If you put a heavy focus on the people who you're not talking to, that's a watered down message. I'll tell you, I do this all the time. I've done it here. I just told you, I targeted at the beginning of this message exactly who I'm talking to. I'm not talking to everybody in this message. I'm talking about the leaders who communicate in mass, whether that's speech, whether it's written, whatever. I'm not talking to everybody, and that's okay. And the other people who weren't in this message will be in my next one. With my podcast, I do, and I'll give this another example. And so with my podcast, I have specific episodes that are only talking to young men, only talking to parents, directed at uh, young women of color in the school system, directed at counselors and therapists. I have directed at rape victims. I have very specific targeted episodes. Not all of them are that way, but most of them are targeted. And that's with great intention because I'm not interested in going through all that work just to give a watered down message. If you come to a restaurant, you're going to eat some food. I'm not a hot dog stand. So you need to have that same attitude with your message. Are you giving out hot dogs? Or are you serving full meals? Whatever full meal looks like for you. Now, for some of you, a full meal is vegan. That's fine. Picture a vegan restaurant, picture a vegan dish. I like steak and potatoes. It doesn't matter. Picture whatever you want. But your message, when it's watered down, you're like a hot dog stand. A hot dog is a delicious snack, it's a piece of a meal, but it has no nutrients in it. Hot dogs don't have nutrients, they're not nutritious. Quite frankly, it's not really food. I like them too, but you know, the truth be told, it's not really food. So it doesn't actually give you nutrients. If you want to eat a real meal, then you eat real food. You don't eat a hot dog. A bowl of cereal is delicious, but again, not real food. Are you serving real food as a leader? Or are you serving hot dogs? This is something that's so critical to think about because, and I'm saying it because, and I might hurt some of your feelings with this. I'm okay if it hurts your feelings if it gets the results. Because when you turn around your thinking and you start giving out food like you're supposed to, everybody else wins. The people that you serve win. And I want to see you win. If you hold actual content in you that is good, that is riveting, that is deeper, that people need to hear, a perspective that you see nobody else around you sees, please tell us. We need it. And the people around you need it. And I want to see you give it out. I want people to see your value. They can't see your value when you're covered in Cool Whip, which is that watered down message. It's got to be politically correct. Can't say this, we can't say that. And our culture has incorrectly, very falsely taught us that this is the way to be. It is not the way to be. It is the way to be bland, boring, and completely forgettable. So If you want to be memorable, stop trying to satisfy everybody and focus on who you're talking to and pinpoint your messages towards them. Because once you start concentrating, other things in your mind will start popping up, other ideas, and you will know what to do because it's already in you. I genuinely believe that most of you are not as flaky, shallow, and watered down as you've been showing people. And I want you to stop it because you're harming the rest of us by not letting us experience the awesome gem that is inside you. The gem that is inside you, you're covering it up with Cool Whip. We can't even see it. All this little fluff. Oh, we're just going to talk about surface issues because we don't want to talk about things that make people uncomfortable. Yes, you do. It's the uncomfortable conversations that save people. It's the uncomfortable conversations that, hell, they save lives. It's the uncomfortable conversations that start solutions. Have those uncomfortable conversations through your speech. Doesn't mean you need to go all willy nilly. Yes, you do need to be cognitive of not being rude and putting people off too much. But here's the thing, if you're talking to person B and what you say puts off person A, who you're not talking to in the first place, let person A walk away. It's like this, a room full of money, but because you water down your message, it's half the money in there is monopoly money. You're better off with $100 of real money in the room than 30 million of monopoly money. Which one's worth more? Don't get stuck in those big numbers. Big numbers are very often where the squirrel brain people are. The ones who don't care about you, they just want to hear what's popular for the next 5 minutes. Stop watering down your message. Your medicine that's inside you is important. You are important because of what you carry. The message that you truly carry, the real stuff that you really thinking, you probably should start saying it. No, you don't need to be rude and obnoxious with how you say it. Yes, you should say it as tasteful as you can. I'm not saying that you need to go to the other extreme. What I'm saying is stop watering down your message. Let us know the real of what you have to say. Give your real review on certain issues. Give your real thoughts. Because I promise you, whatever you're thinking, you're not the only one. And the ones who will attack you are the ones who don't agree. So what? When you speak your truth, your real tribe, your real person B starts showing up because now they can see you. They couldn't see you before because you were covered in Cool Whip. Stop covering Cool Whip. Put the Cool Whip down. Ready Whip, whatever you want to do. Put that whipped cream down and start giving people the real meat that you have, the real medicine, the real nourishment that is inside you. And I know I'm talking to a lot of people when I say this. Stop giving those watered down messages. Here's something that I want you to ponder over the next week, given this message. And I want you to ask yourself with this question. I'm not asking you to uh I'm not asking you to answer me. You can inbox me later if you want to. I'll have a conversation with you because people do. But I want you to ask yourself this question and be really honest. Am I delivering watered down medication or am I making real strides? That's for you to answer, not me, because that's for you to answer. And if the answer is, I'm being, I'm making strides over here, but I know I'm being watered down in this area, fix it. I promise you, your value will go up. People won't like you. Anytime you speak truth and anytime you speak to a targeted audience, people will always have something to say. So, and so what? The people who you are targeting, what are they saying? Because that's what matters. The sidebar people are always going to be chatting. They're always going to have something to say. They're not. They're person A. That's not your people. That's not who you're talking to. Focus on who you're talking to and give them the real message. All right. That is all for today. This will be up on YouTube later for the replay. I put it up every week. Usually it's there by Thursday. Uh, but I thank you all for coming, and for all of you who see this in the future, I really hope that you take this to heart and you ponder it, because I just gave you a deeply rooted thought seed, and I want it to prosper, but only if you wanted to.